Oh, maybe. And this is where Instagram gets mad. Oops. Yeah, technology is fun.
Yeah.
It like made me generate this thing earlier. See, and now it's like yelling at me. I understand. No, not yet. So then StreamYard used to be like, hey, we play nice, right? At least sorta.
Yeah.
And then now it's just too much. Too much is happening between like politics and meta. And then every time I turn around, like I'm what was it? Twitter was like, yay, we want you to come on and make content. And then it was like, just kidding. You have to pay for it. And then like YouTube kind of did the same thing, but then they're all like, really? But just kidding. You talk about what you talk about. So now I'm being like demonetized, but I'm like, I'm not trying to make money in the first place. This is educational. This keeps me alive. Okay. This is a reason for me to, not get too depressed in the ether. That is this internet and this business right now, which we will start talking about. But now Instagram is like, hold on, you did a whole link. Where did it go? And then now it's going to make me do the thing again. So this is where someday, this is my joke, someday we will go back and find this dumb footage and like, you'll be like the next, like, she's just the example in my head. We have so many great female leaders in our industry, but you'll be like the next Bonnie, or you'll be like Susan Coleman, and you'll be like, hey, Tori, remember when? Oh my goodness, right? And then
we'll
just be like, hey, you remember I didn't even have like a background yet or a producer to keep these stream key things happy, I guess. So now I have to go back to my Instagram stream key thingy and then hit the go live button. Okay. And then life is peachy.
Are you not able to just go live through like Facebook or anything anymore?
Well, so I can go, so it was, I could go through Facebook, but then what's cool is two things happened. I had to become a page because I'm a person. So you can't, as Tuesdays with Tori, that page entity is not allowed into P3. Tori is allowed into P3. I'm like, and the whole reason I even started this was to rant with my friends. Like, nobody, I shouldn't say nobody watches this show. I'm trying to do better about that. Coco, I know you watch the show. Look at her. She's like, what'd you do with my plants? But it was really to educate and kind of just have my own soapbox. It's really just for this P3 page, right? It's not. So like my family watches sometimes and they're like, well, that was interesting, but it's not very consumer friendly. I'm like, it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to talk about business and the hurdles and the challenges. So anyways, it'll be good content for, when we can help the next generation. But this is also where we're laugh, right? Because what's cool about StreamYard here is if I go just like live onto Facebook, that's awesome. And I can see the comments on Facebook, but this way I can put them on the screen. So I'm trying to work with what I've already paid for too, right? So I could do cool things like this. So if someone comments, when someone comments, I just have to do the share thing. Then I can put it up. So I was like up on the screen so you can see it in the conversation. And that way I was a little bit like, well, that makes it in theory a little more interactive if somebody does want to ask a question, if this whole thing's supposed to be for education. Yeah. But I can also do this, but I don't always remember to figure it out. Haha. Yeah. Right. And then little tips like this as I oh wait, this is a good one. Spit is just water, everybody. So again, it's an authentic whatever this is. I'm like, I'll just tell everybody I'm figuring it out together as we go, right? Because
like breaking news,
that's kind of the joy of it. And it's just my own thing. So there's also that, like, I'm sure in business people understand the person that signs the checks, whether it be a partner, an investor, a advertiser, they come with expectations. So
of course,
I'm okay in this, like, it's fine. I'm gonna do what I want. I'm gonna call Cailyn and I'm gonna tell her that I'm moving. So I was like, sad day. You used to have like pretty folks, and now I'm like, this is like the awful, like, Like, you guys have to look at this cute background now. I know. So, Coco, why are you getting depressed about it already? Look at, she's already done. She's like, what did you do with my plants? What did you do with all these things?
All my stuff.
I know. So it's getting real. Yeah, we're moving to North Carolina at the end of February. So I have like 4 weeks.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be here.
Don't remind me.
Are you guys driving stuff across, or are you shipping it and then?
So 2 of the cars we have, we're gonna just leave here with family because it's like the amount to ship it is probably what I would have gotten in cash, but they were like paid off and still running. Like, who wants to give that up? It's a dream.
Yeah.
Car payments are not fun. So then yes, the other 2 cars are being shipped, and then my poor father-in-law and Ryan are gonna be with the. I don't even know how they're gonna do this. I'm gonna say this, and you're just gonna be like, what? This is how boys plan. They're going to take, because not just my dogs, but his parents' dogs too, because it's not just me moving. It's his parents and then his sister and her 2 sons too, right? It's like a package deal. This whole thing, maybe Boppy's watching, started because I'm an air sign, married to an air sign, who inherited the air sign from an air steering Scorpio. And she is retired, and Padu, that's what we call grandma and grandpa, because the kids name people, and now I don't even use their real names, right? She was like, everyone's retiring. It was really hot last year, right? At least in Phoenix. So that's where I'm currently at. And usually I was born and raised here, except for my 5 years of LA, which is how you all met me. Right. We moved to Santa Clarita. Anyways, and then came back because pandemic, all the things. She's like, it was 5 months of over 100 this year. And it gets particularly rough when, right. It was just too much. And I had kids. So it was like, okay, you want to go hang out? It's the summer. You have to go ride your bike at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I guess it's just time, but she kind of just threw this, she got weird powers, people. In a good way, but I got to watch out when she throws wishes out like this. I swear to God, it's how I ended up pregnant, and how Asia did. Asia wasn't even going to have, Ryan's sister was not even going to have children. And then now she's got the 2 boys and I got the 2 girls. And this was all because Ryan's mother one year was stomping around like, I'm just not going to do anything for Christmas because why bother? I don't have any grandkids. Me. And so it was like literally the year she like did, because she her cardio is like decoration and cleaning. She's really awesome. And so the only light decorating or like feng shuiing she did was she put up all the cute Grinch stuff because, and this was years ago, right? My Knox is 13. So this is like 14, 15 years ago. So the Grinch was still cool, but it wasn't like, we were still in Jim Carrey cool. Yeah, we didn't have animation or no, we did have the original animation, but not what was this past one? CGI. We didn't have that one. So it was all in Grinch. And then I swear to God, by the next Christmas, Asia was pregnant. So she was all, I want 5 grandkids. She's got 4. I'm like, you got to be careful what this lady wishes for. So lady that wishes everything, my mother-in-law was like, well, I would really like to have weather because I've never experienced weather. She's just like, we did California when I was a kid. Like she grew up in California. She was born in New Caledonia. So she's like, I've not been in the desert forever because my parents were in the desert and they're no longer on this. They're behind the veil now. So she just started wishing and did like a Zillow research and poof, now we're all moving. And we're going to live on a lake and the kids are going to.
The East Coast is good. I could.
What's funny because people sometimes ask if I'm originally from the East Coast because apparently I talk quickly like an East Coaster or just like a spaz.
Yes.
But I'm not grumpy. She's like, yeah, that's why our meetings are good. We get it. Excuse me. So I guess I'm either going back to my roots or back to my family is actually from, like, my parents were originally from Maryland, DC area.
Oh, okay.
But then
my good friend actually just moved to Annapolis, so I'm trying to make a trip down there soon.
Okay. See, and now I'm going to have to, my geography's not great on a good day. And now I'm like, oh my God, you can drive to state faster. Yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, how long does it take to get to, they're like, it's a freeway that goes through, what? Anyway.
I drive literally through another state every day back and forth to work.
That's so amazing and strange at the same time. Oh, see, now here's the cool thing. I was not paying attention. This is why I'm like, StreamYard's cool instead of just trying to get on. Because like I can put the cute, like, hey, Helene says hi, and Blanca says hi. And then Blanca says, miss you ladies. And I swear I didn't even get to see you. Like I saw you, Blanca, and I saw you, but like you get to see each other, but it's not like you get to see each other. So make a podcast,
Blanca was
everyone.
a busy girl this at this show.
Oh my goodness. I know. What wasn't Blanca doing? Goodness. Okay. Well, so now that the technology seems to be slightly working, right? See, if I do it again, it works.
Yay.
We learn. Welcome to Tuesday, which I just decided to call it Tuesday with Tori. And today's episode is Tuesday with Tori and Cailyn. Yay. But I also thought it was hilarious, and I called it Boss Moves and Emerald Hues because I did get to see Cailyn over at our fancy XBIZ shenanigans. And I literally looked to see if I had like taken a picture, but I'm of course like in the nosebleed seats. She had one of the top 5 dresses. I don't know, maybe someday, maybe Blanca. I don't know if she's still on, and Jay, because I know you guys do the live stream, but then we need to have like a fashion recap or something.
Yes.
So if we're doing my fashion recap in my head, Catherine would be proud of me. I do also give an honorable mention to Kyle, who had a cape. I always am like joking in my head because I like to read like fantasy romance novels or historical novels, right? And everybody gets like their cloak, and I'm like, I want to bring the cape back. And she brought it
totally
back.
Missed that.
Oh my God. And it was like,
little,
and I was like, where did you get that? She's like, fucking Shein. I'm like, oh God. A new addiction.
Of course. Yeah.
But so yes, Cailyn, top 5, because it was just awesome green with the slit, and just, you know, when people can dress for their body types and some people can't, you absolutely can. It was amazing.
Thank
you. Like both ways. There's some string bean people that you're just like, maybe I just watched too much What to Wear back in the day.
Probably. That was always one of my guilty pleasures too. Yeah.
Well, right. And that's why I'm like super picky about bras to this day. I'm like, oh my God, if you don't have the correct, also I used to sell lingerie, and see, we have to have a fashion seat. That Stevie Nicks little chic thing, I borrowed it from Cherie. It was awesome. I wasn't even going to wear it, but see, yes, that dress was gorgeous. See, I just made my own academy. So far, the judges are me
for sure,
and Blanca.
With the reversible sequins.
So fun. I know. So far I made our, okay. So you, me, and Blanca, we're just now our own academy. We won't tell anybody. We'll make our own fashion categories, right? Like nostalgic, and then most glitter, and okay. At some point I did write a whole episode, but also it's funny because this is like, to me, why I would make a web stream or a podcast or whatever this is, because it's a good excuse to be like, hi, I saw you, but I didn't get to see you.
Hang it out. Yeah.
Let's talk. And then I'm trying to be, there's that saying like, do unto others, or like be who you maybe wanted to be when you were a kid or whatever. So I guess I'm like taking that to heart, because this is the intro. Star. So if people are like, what the hell is this lady talking about? I kind of wanted to stop some of the gatekeeping that I was just experiencing in business, period. Right. It didn't have to do necessarily with whatever industry, but coming from a very mainstream industry in the limited, and then working for a, private equity group that started as, when it was privately owned, and then it was private equity and all the things with lubricant and the fusion of, right, lube being sexy and health. Did that for 8 years and learned so much. And then I poofed to condoms. And just in the 2 years, I'm still like I thought I was pretty savvy, right? I'm like, I knew things. There's different type of condoms. There's condom compatibilities and the stuff, right? And just even the way that something so like basic in condoms are in everybody's store. Everybody has them, whether they want to carry them or they like selling them or whatever. It is just like, they're in everybody's store, but they do business so differently. So I'm like, maybe I can translate some of these things and or use it as an excuse to call my friends. Maybe someone will be inspired, right? So I also have Helene saying, oh, because it's fun and it brings us together since we don't get to see each other. See that part. And then supposedly it's then I can call it a business, and then everything is content, right? Or at least that's how I've been told in my head. You get it. You're in marketing. the concept of if you say it, it is.
It is, exactly.
Right? But you have to say it without saying it. It's so funny.
You just have to get people to believe it, and it's good.
Also, because I'm packing, look at my cute, my other
that's a must for
sister-in-law,
moving, for sure.
right? So my other sister-in-law got me these for Christmas, and I'm like, okay, I have to I'm packing everything, and it's all going bye-bye. Like half my books are gone. It's so sad. I went to go look for one. I'm like, oh no. So I figured I would just, as I'm taking things out to pack, I want to drink from
just
the
make
cute
it a little
cups.
easier on yourself. Those
Again,
are really pretty glasses, though, too.
I know, isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Goodness.
Like
okay, just want to make sure, because I guess we may see, right? If I said it, it is. Just want to make sure.
Yep, there you go.
See, we're going to do a fashion bit, and I think we just became judges. Don't test me with power of the internet and me being ridiculous, because coping skills. This could happen. So welcome to my rant. Thank you for being here. We'll maybe get to the stuff where you get slightly educated, but also it's fun to amuse Cailyn here and make her laugh. My family is so sick of my humor all the time. But for real, I'm going to let Cailyn introduce herself for a little bit, but I'll do like my quick plug as we didn't really know, as most people that have come on the show. I'm like, unless you specifically have like something on your brain that you want to talk about, I'm just going to kind of make some fun questions, and then we'll see if people are in the audience. But something very impressive to me about Cailyn, that if you didn't know, now you know. I mean, you obviously haven't met her if you don't. So I can help with that networking part, but there's not a side of the desk that you haven't worked on. Between like buying for retail and then having to turn around and sell to those same people, other management brands, and then you've got a whole e-commerce channel. Like, just there's got to be a better word for like jack of all trades, like integrator. You're like probably one of the most ultimate integrators that also hasn't had to constantly change their role in the industry, right? Like you're still doing it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's me being like, it's just super impressive. So I'm going to use the sad power the ether of the internet has given me and just be like, so Cailyn, it's what, 15 years you've been in the industry? At least that's what.
So this summer will be 16 actually. So
holy moly. See, I just did 10.
Crazy.
And that's like, there's a lot of experience that comes with stuff because, right, the way that a lot of the adult retail industry and like say Trojan at Church and Dwight do it is completely different. So having to have to pivot your brain like that, I don't know, it's very special.
Well, and having come from like more mainstream retail initially too, I think that helped transition a lot of my kind of corporate retail stuff into the stores, which nobody was really doing at the time. A lot of people are getting on that, the last few years.
Like you're not reinventing the wheel, but it's not
just
as
kind
easy
of bringing
to just
it to
apply.
Exactly. So, I worked for the Gap and Banana Republic for a long time. I most recently was at Lane Bryant before I came over to Metro. So that was like my background. It was retail, store management, operations, visuals. That's what I really love doing. We're
similarly brainwashed. Stuff. This is good because I didn't know you had, because at one point, right, Lane was part of the Limited.
Correct. Yeah.
So I was Victoria's Secret, Bath and Body Works, swimmer. So I was like, oh my goodness, that's awesome. I didn't know that. See, you get to learn things every day, even about like my friends. We're equally brainwashed. No wonder, like, I send off things and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Equally brainwashed. This is awesome.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
Perfect.
So from brainwashing to applying that to intimacy and wellness.
Yeah. No, I think it was just kind of aligning, having actual goals and like training people how to truly sell and service customers rather than just standing behind a register and, ringing people up. Creating an experience when they come into the store, really starting to track add-ons and cart sizes and all of the different KPIs that weren't ever really being tracked or looked at. So bringing all of that seems so simple from, previous lives and jobs, it just kind of didn't really exist at the time when I joined over here. So
is that what you would maybe say kind of keeps you like going? Like what got you started and then what kind of kept the ember, the flame going, right?
yeah, and I mean, it's just, I love, everybody that I work with at the office. I love everybody that I work with within the industry outside of the office. It's been something that I just kind of grew to love and almost immediately. I'm sure you can attest to this as well. When you're working for corporate retail, your voice really is not heard at all. Like, you're obviously welcome to make a suggestion, but
no,
that never usually goes anywhere. There's just too many people through the pipeline for it to really get anywhere.
Which is why they have KPIs and numbers, right? It's not,
exactly.
It's job security in the sense of that's the quickest way to avoid the lost in translation is numbers.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, but we've been the KPI. It's annoying. How many store reports? How many? Talking about your conversion. How many? How much payroll can you deduct and still set up all this stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, and being able to have, a voice that I feel truly heard with Metro is just, something that I find to be invaluable.
Oh, I love that. Here, look, I made a little, again, trying to use my things. Hold on. I can do the, see, look at the cuteness. And then we can go into the next. I just had to celebrate that because as I was looking for the cute picture, I was like, Google, maybe somebody on XBIZ did it. I was like, well, I found this. This is cute. So here's your moment to celebrate because I'll do it for you because it's fun.
Oh, thank you.
But I will kind of go into the next thing where it's like, obviously you manage, because again, what role are you not handling with Metro and all of Metro's brands? So you handle dozens of suppliers and the inventory and, have to keep a pulse on the trends and all the things. How do you balance the dual personalities, right? I literally give my personalities names. Like now you're talking to the condom charmer.
Yeah.
Like it's just different depending on what. So how do you manage your multiple personality magic, right? And I'm just going to go through the cuteness.
Like keeping it kind of all a part of the same conversation. We have a team that is all a part of this. This is not by any stretch of the imagination just me. We have Justin. I know you know Justin. He's been at a few of the shows. He does all of the graphic design for the packaging and, the look of the brand. And that's, I think, the biggest part of it. And telling the brand story. Every time we launch something, we have to come
energy drinks.
And and the 4-packs are coming, which is exciting. But this has been, really building Cloud9 out into a brand, bringing in a lot of the swag, all that stuff that everybody loves. So you can set up a really cool Cloud9 party in your store and being able to bring value to retailers so they can, then in turn give value to their customers. We're here to support retailers, not just sell product.
I love that. I'm like, I don't know if we need to hear it for the cheap seats in the back. Like we're retail is always going to come back because it's about an experience.
Exactly.
I know there's a struggle and I know there's that, e-com versus retail and stuff. Yes, it's a struggle. No one's saying it isn't, but also retail hasn't gone anywhere in 200 years, something like that. Don't quote me, but it's like, it always bounces back because you get something that you can't fake that. You can't fake the experience.
Right. And especially when it comes to intimate products, not everybody is going to want to order that online. They want to be able to go in and see, touch, feel, smell, taste, depending on what it is, and really understand what they're purchasing. Maybe they want to adventure into something new, talk to somebody because they're just curious about something. So I think especially in our space, I really don't think the actual brick and mortar is going to go anywhere. We're just in our lull cycle, but it'll come back. I'm confident it'll come back.
Well, and from what I understand, and maybe you've got insight with all your multiple personalities that I don't, we're not the only industry struggling. We're not the only industry having to pivot and sort of trim the fat and redefine what's really important. I've seen it be successful and I've seen it go very poorly in the last, I'll just say it, 4 or 5 years, right? Some people have really struggled to, go out and do what they say they're going to do when the balance sheet didn't look the way that it needed to, and hard decisions happen, right? And then I've seen other people do it really well, where they're like, hey, we just cut out all the bullshit and focused exclusively on my people and communication, and it worked. Doesn't always work that way.
Correct. And I mean,
Okay,
your
so
people are
we're
definitely,
not crazy,
I think,
guys.
yeah.
It's been hard. It's been hard.
It has been hard, but we'll bounce back. It's just, you take these times where it is a little bit slower to really, like you said, see and evaluate exactly what is important to your business, and use this time to kind of do some cleanups. And, everybody is looking for a deal right now. So maybe now's the time you start to, move out some of that dead stock. And it's when stuff bounces back, hopefully within a couple of months, you'll be ready to go and room for fresh product. Cycling through stuff is really, I think, the biggest part of success, because people always want to see something new. And no matter what store you are, you're going to have your tried and true customers that are coming back, however often they're coming back, and they want new stuff. So,
well, even if it's not like it has to be brand new innovation, it's new to them, right? It's new to whatever journey and experience your regulars are having, right?
Right.
And I think you touched on it too, not just experience, but where else are you going to get the education? I think that's a huge thing that adult retail has over. I mean, we already have a big stigma and blah, 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 a hurdle to get over. All that aside, we have a huge advantage of being able to educate, where there's not a lot of stores that you walk into anymore and anybody knows anything, right? Hey, Target can look on their phone and tell me what aisle. I appreciate that, but people are not trained to do the same sort of, they're not trained to do sort of the same sort of like asking anybody the correct, fact-finding questions about the experience they're looking for, because they don't have to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which,
that was like one of my favorite parts of actually working in a store, especially even doing clothing, like getting somebody in a fitting room and just, making them feel so great about themselves. And that carried over into these stores, and truly building out an experience for them to go home. And that was the best part, when they would come back and say like, oh my God, thank you so much. Or, a woman.
Such the best part. And did you get a lot of returns when you could sell that way? Hell no. When you had to sell, like, this is the inventory, I need you to sell this, we get the best margin, or it's going to expire, you have to push it. Sure. We're good at our jobs. We'll get it sold. I speak English. We'll sell it. But it's your heart's not in it. You're not going to have the same, you're going to spend more time and effort and labor, and you're going to lose your soul trying to make it happen and force it on somebody than just asking them what they actually want, but also making it like available.
Exactly. Yeah. I had a very short stint in life insurance, actually, believe it or not.
That's interesting. Again, can you, people say selling's a widget, but it isn't, like life insurance.
And exactly like you were saying, like, I hated it. I lasted 2 months and I was like, okay, I'm out of here.
All right. Yeah. It's not sustainable for you. I mean, we all work because we have to. I get it.
Exactly. Yeah.
we're all not sitting here like, cool, free ride. Yay. But it's it's the one shot is at least what I keep trying to remind myself. It's like you don't really get a redo. So stay curious, folks.
Yep.
Okay, that rocked. I'm learning so much about you and our brainwashing. We could probably write this whole thing I have in my head, whereas like, remember you used to always get your what do they call it? Your Friday packet, your March packet, the whatever stuff that you used to get. You had to drop it into your, I'm older than you, drop it in all your binders and blah, 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 and figure out the stories and stuff. I was like, this industry doesn't have like, here's your Friday packet of updates. And I love that it doesn't, because I don't want to necessarily have a rule book, but like maybe a guidebook of here's some proven processes from the past, because unless you ask somebody, you don't know. Versus a lot of other companies that could be like, what didn't work at Kodak, right? Like something didn't work and that business failed. You can't necessarily learn from any of that elsewhere. But I'm like, people don't understand when I'm like, I can't write the brief in my head right now. I need to make it make sense. I need a Friday packet.
Yeah. And I mean, obviously there's a few big chains around, but like the bulk of the industry is, smaller, 1, 2, 3, up to maybe 10 store doors. And, a lot of them don't have as much as access as us bigger guys to, different processes or, um, the way we do things, or even vendor access sometimes. So,
No, truth, because it's
yeah,
the budget's getting smaller. It's
yeah,
a lot of the framework of the industry is you come knock on my door, come on, knock on my door, and we do the things, and I see you 4 times a year, and I've set up, and you're handled, and it's like we're having to adapt to. I mean, again, I'm coming from my side of the desk here, but the travel budget doesn't necessarily allow for that as much anymore.
right.
And I know, certain store chains or other areas would allow you to go in and do not just product training, right? But, category training and how to sell it.
Yeah.
Right. How to approach the customer. All the things that we got brainwashed with, but I haven't realized so many other people, again, because I'm older, haven't had that. Right. Like some people say you should always have like a serving job or a retail job. We have to enter, like, there's not even those same serving or retail jobs for people to learn that sort of just, I don't know, customer service.
Even serving. I mean, I've served and bartended too, along with everything else for a lot of years. But yeah, I mean, even those jobs are so much more scarce than they used to be.
Yeah. And there's it's almost like the policy is to keep things kind of, I mean, it's more people you have to protect and be a little bit fairer, but I don't know. This is me saying, I don't know how to solve it, but I see a gap. How do we get the resources that the people that have been doing it forever that just assume everybody has, how do we get those resources to the backbone of our industry, which is, the entrepreneurs, the independents?
Yeah. And I mean, there's a lot to learn from them as well. And, it's not to say that they don't have as significant of a voice. Sorry, now I can't talk. As anybody else. Yeah. So it's, it's good to just get everybody together and, like you said, just network, talk, best practices, all that kind of stuff.
Right. Maybe we have to make a club too, or this is how we write the book later. I need to stop having ideas and then I want to do them. And I'm like, I still have a job. I have to move. And I got to finish my book.
I need to actually work today.
I know. Are you still working? I am. I know I took a little longer lunch than, just because I had to eat and then clean. And then it was like, okay, back to it. And then show.
Yeah, I went in a little early today so I could get home for this. But
you're so sweet. Thanks.
I was like, I don't really want to be at the office till 8:00 tonight. So
I would not have wished that on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I would like, we can pre-record if you have to do it in the office. Like, none of that. That would not be nice.
But yeah, I'll probably have some stuff that I'll work on a little bit after this, and then I'll be done.
It's a good and a bad thing, right? I'm working on my boundaries as far as like maybe not working 10-hour days without realizing it. But also, I don't know, when stuff's going on with the kids or whatever, it is nice to be able to like, okay, it's fine. Cailyn's available at 8. We're gonna catch up then. It's like, not that this is work, but you get what I mean. It's like, I can't not. People are always like, oh, I got to keep work and life separate, and there is a part of that is true that I'm trying to harness. But then there's a part that's like, but anything I do is still part of me. How do I not do that?
Yeah, I know it's a tough balance, and especially when my daughter was younger, it was really tough. And
she just graduated, right? Is that what you were saying?
She is turning 21 this year, and she is actually making me a grandma. A few of you guys know that, not everybody, but
oh, congratulations. I was like, something. We were talking something, yes. And then we got distracted because she was in a shiny emerald dress, everybody. You can't blame me.
So yeah, she is due early May.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So yeah, that's new.
You heard it here first. Wait, if I could type fast enough and talk, I would do it and make a banner. Yay. Yay, grandmama. Oops. Oh, and I can make it scroll. Look at that.
Oh God.
I have power. No, but that is
Oh,
super
God.
exciting. I mean, I come from like, just children are always to be celebrated. So thanks for letting us celebrate. I love that. Mine, I joke because Shay is the age of my career. She was 9 months old when we all took the job at Joe. So she will be 12 in July. I'm like, holy moly.
Yeah. So she was what, 5 when I first started, which is just like crazy. So yeah.
Obviously, we are aging in reverse. We just look better and we just get wiser. And our kids are just on their own weird timeline, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little strange. So, yeah.
Goodness.
I can't say it's like the news the best initially, but I'm good.
Okay, that's a whole other,
that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
That's a whole other, were you wishing? Because maybe it's your fault. That seems to be what happens when there's a surprise. Somebody, you got to remember, you're not in control. Somebody could have wished for it, and whatever, the universe, gods, whoever's out there, sometimes be careful what you wish for, right? But Grandma Helene, or not Grandma, my mama, she's my Jewish grandma, and I'm coming closer to her. I'm so excited. You're a grandmama. So, or Glamma. That's a good one.
Glamma. I know. That was the other thing. Everybody's like, what are you going to be called? I'm like, I have not even gotten there yet.
You know what? It'll be awesome. My mother-in-law, she was a hairdresser until she retired. So she did hair for 35 years. So she was very the look, right? The trend and the fashion. And she's still into design and all this stuff. And it's like,
yeah,
she's the cool 65-ish grandma with the dragon tattoo and the fun hair, right? That that's just who she is. You're just going to be the fun. It doesn't matter. It just means you're going to hey, I'm still living my life, but I get to be obsessed with my life with these little humans too.
Yeah.
Yes, you are, Glamma. Yeah. That's so cute. Oh, I'm excited for you. And yeah, first babies are terrifying. So good luck to your daughter. I'm sure I'm not telling her anything she's not already going through.
Yeah. I mean, lucky enough, she's got a better support system than I did when she was born. So,
well, and you know what? There it is. You're already not part of the toxic family cycle. Not that people ever mean to do it, but they get that that didn't exist. And somehow there's that festering when you're just said no, I'm so excited you're going to have a different path and a different support.
Yeah.
And see, this is why you're cool as shit, guys. This is Cailyn. Brought her to the show for you. She's got Smarties, right? Look at Coco is not amused.
Yeah. Oh.
Coco.
She's just looking over the side of the couch at all her missing stuff.
She's so mad that I've moved all her stuff and her holy basil was just not going to make it. I'm trimming back. I don't know what I'm going to be able to take or not in a little hydroponic pod in the car. I already have too many. I think I'm pretty minimalistic. We don't have too much stuff. We're in a little over 1,000 square feet.
Okay.
But I have a lot of fun little knickknacks or antiques or special edition sprayed books. And so I'm so annoyed at myself. I'm literally wrapping and packing rocks. I'm but this is a pretty rock from here. Why do I collect rocks? Oh, all right. So because you're smarter and wiser than me, and let's any other trends or challenges that you see kind of shaping the future of adult retail and distribution, right? So far my 2025 has seemed happier, but I could be faking it.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a couple of, good weeks, I think, since Christmas, Christmas into now. But it's not been, I think, steady enough to really say, okay, we've bounced back fully yet. But it's obviously looking hopeful. I mean, as far as trends go, I think lingerie is a really big thing for, us to focus on. It's a fashion piece now. You see so many people wearing it just as everyday wear.
Yeah, I heard that too, where it's not the packaged lingerie, which used to be really more popular come the pandemic because it was just easy decision. It's more of the the curated, right? Someone's in there for that whole
And
outfit.
so we've kind of revamped some of the sections in the stores as far as lingerie is concerned. Just trying to branch out into new categories and see exactly, what really fits. It's about getting people into the store. So what is going to draw that customer to actually enter the store besides just, a new vibrator or, whatever else they're into typically shop for. And hopefully get that repeat visit a little more often than we're used to.
Commodities help with that, right?
Yes.
If you want to know why your lube category probably expanded, how many times in the last 10 years? Huge, right?
Yeah.
I remember being from like just one, and now everything's lit because commodities, condoms, right? Even though I know they don't get the same sort of attention, the amount of innovation that's starting to happen with them is because everybody has them, and a lot of your toys are meant to hopefully last longer than the 20 minutes that maybe you're getting out of your condom.
Yeah.
Yep, nicer styles of lingerie that look good. Peeking have you seen some of Helene's stuff?
I don't think so.
We'll talk later. She's Subsensuals, and so she just hand makes all this like really sexy. Like I have this like huge black and gold, like beautiful. Like if you just wanted to be a combination of like I'm vaudeville, Audrey Hepburn, but I got the bad boy TikTok boyfriend 2-piece, right? So it's like I'm glamorous, but everything's sexy.
I'm not sure who it was, but at XBIZ, somebody had on like the best chain mini dress. I don't know if you saw it, but it was she had like a black like mini dress underneath, but the whole outside was all like silver chains, and it was
how did I miss this?
I don't know, but it was really, really cute.
Chainmail lady, if you're out there in the ether. Sometimes it happens. I will never underestimate the power of the ether or the internet again, as then all of a sudden I had a freaking retail education nomination. Like what? So hey, you say it in the ether,
that red carpet area was like so crazy crowded. I couldn't even.
Every year though. Okay. I did love being at the Roosevelt because I hadn't been there before. So that made me feel like a special person. Like to me, it's just the nomination. I want to go and hang. I don't even care about the stuff. Right. But every year we're always smushed in the thing. And then I'm like, I need air. I'm like, I dress because I'm not used to the heat, or I'm not used to like, it's cold outside, but you could have just told me to dress like I'm still at home. I don't know.
Yeah.
Welcome to my podcast where we kind of talk about business and then we talk about fashion in between because we're all just hanging on for dear life. But it's good. This checks off my, what we laughed. What is that? This checks off my serotonin box for today. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. I'm trying to trick my brain.
Your pretty glass.
Yes. See, you got it. You got it. Trying to trick my brain. If you trick your brain with the happy chemicals, you will be happy. Maybe, maybe. Oh, this is just because she laughs at me. Again, my family doesn't. And then this is like, you're fueling me. Okay. I'm going to start to do the wrapping up, even though I feel like we could do a whole like merchandising. No, we could do a whole brainwashing by Tori and Cailyn. And then it'd be like, here's the steps to merchandise. And then here's the steps to like, don't ask it. Never ask anybody. You finding everything okay?
Yeah.
Never do it. Never do it. Never do it. Like that's another lecture. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to wrap up, but I started this whole, like, I make rapid fire questions and we'll see how many we get to until it's like overtime or you're too annoyed with me, because I'm trying to, in the spirit of you do all the jobs, I'm trying to learn how to be a producer for my own little shenanigan here. And I got to do the clippings of the things. And this is a really easy way for me to clip something by rapid fire questions. So now you know my strategy. See, I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm sharing the strategy, and then we do the rapid fire questions. And then anybody else use the rapid fire questions as what the clickbait. I'm learning. It'll be cool. You ready?
I'm ready.
So if you could describe your work ethic or your leadership style as either a movie or a TV show, which one would it be?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. You can think for a minute. I know it's rapid fire, but I don't want you to have to like overthink it. It's not supposed to be like, this isn't a presidential debate.
I don't know. I don't like
But you
talk
wouldn't
to
pick someone
people
from
the
The
way
Office,
he
maybe?
does, but I have to say Ari from Entourage because it's just one of
Okay.
my favorite all-time shows. But yeah, I
Yeah, you're
mean, I
not a
feel like
dick like him, but you get shit done. I see that. Okay.
yeah, we'll go with that.
At least you're not a dick to me.
Yeah,
So
no, I'm not like that piece of it at all. But yeah, constantly kind of just running around on the
yeah,
phone
yeah, yeah.
doing
Like
things.
it all of a sudden gets done. All of a sudden there's the sidekick in your hand and you don't
Yeah,
know why.
exactly. Yeah.
You just be like, it's fine, read your notes. I took care of it. Right. Okay. That was a good one. What's the best piece of advice you've ever ignored and lived to regret? This is because
Ever
my kids are
ignored.
entering preteen. So I'm like,
Yeah.
what sort of
Hmm.
stuff would like everybody's had it where it's like, oh God, I don't want to say that, but because my mom said that, but how do I say that without saying, you know what I mean?
I don't know. And like trying to think back as far as advice. I don't know. I feel like I've always been somebody who's been very just open and honest and kind
Yeah.
of say what's on my mind, sometimes to my own detriment, but you know, um, I don't know.
Well, so maybe that's it
I
right
can't
there,
think of
right? Kind of a
anything.
similar thing where it's like there was a time in my career where I was a very young teen or 20 something. And at least for me, I had perceived there's this like certain professionalism I have to act instead of just being like just authentic about your growing journey. Right. Kind of
Yeah,
like,
and
and
I
that's
mean,
a
I
very
think
young thing, just proving yourself. Where it's like, no,
yeah, like
you don't have to
working
do that
hard
anymore.
the whole time. Like I, from a very young age, started working and making my own money and was kind of had to provide for myself pretty much,
Yeah.
or else I wasn't gonna have nice things. And you know, I'm cheap, but I'm bougie, so I like
Yeah,
nice
you have
things.
to pick your bougie, right? I get it. I get it. Oh, and Helene says you're not the only one. So,
No.
I mean, I know it's different. It's different out there, but right, like I had keys to a store at 16 years old. I don't think you're even allowed to get a job some places at
Yeah,
16
I
now.
actually had started working when I was 12, believe it or not, because I always looked a lot older than I was. And my like friends of family had a body shop franchise actually, and that was the first place I started, and I loved
That's so
like
interesting.
yeah, just talking about ingredients and skincare and makeup and all that bath and body. Like I love it
Yeah,
still
like
to this
having to
day.
learn like,
This
oh,
was
this is the
pre L'Oreal buying them out, so it
warm
was when they were
vanilla
still like
amber scents. Yeah.
about initiatives. And they were huge on, I don't know if you remember the ribbon bracelets, the cuffs that were like
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, we're doing those. So all of that like real, in touch community outreach. I love doing that there. Um, but
I
yeah,
miss store events, right? Like the old school girlfriend events
yeah,
where, not where it's like, I mean it with love, sometimes not adult shops, but there's other places that is just desperate now. Like no one wants to go to your salon girlfriend, whatever thing. Right. I love everybody out there and I appreciate your hard work, but it's like we got to just kind of reinvent that. But so I miss when it wasn't like in nostalgia. It was like an old school, like that's what people did. You walked around and like would go and have a whole girlfriend event and people had discretionary income.
yeah.
You didn't feel desperate. I said what I said.
It's
Okay. What's one thing in your purse or your bag, right? Maybe you don't carry a purse because I more have a mom bag that might surprise people.
I don't know that anything would surprise. I basically just keep my wallet and some chapstick and hand sanitizer and a couple other random things, but I'm
I don't know. I feel
very
like you
much
should
a
go get your bag. There's
minimalist.
probably something random like a sell sheet or a pamphlet that like you're like, oh yeah, that's in there. I just
There's
forgot about it,
probably
right?
still some business cards in there from
See, I was gonna
XBIZ.
say, did I shove some condoms in there? That could be, something surprising for people.
Yeah. Usually coming back from Anne Me, that's what I get from
Challenge accepted.
yeah.
Okay, well, chapstick. Not everybody carries chapstick. Especially if you don't have like small children expecting you to do everything, or codependent husband.
Yeah, I think it's a East Coast winter thing. So
This
I'll have
is
to buy you
again
some. Yes.
why Cailyn is gonna have everybody, all my East Coast friends. I don't know how to winter. Like,
Yeah.
if I could reach you right now, I would show you this. My mother-in-law went to Savers because Savers is 50% off. It's kind of like a Goodwill, but not if you have one.
Yeah.
They're 50% off on Mondays. So I had no winter clothing. I've definitely lived very far from the Mississippi for quite some time now.
Yeah.
So she's like, gets me this, like, it's like a cute little puffy little jacket. And it's like, I thought it was reversible, but it's not. It's just like a puffy jacket kind of thing. And she's like, does it fit or whatever? I was like, I'm not sure I understand. So what do I do? Do I put this and then the long sleeve or the whatever? And she's like, it's just a fucking jacket. I'm like, but how many layers am I going to need? Because then I get the hot flashes. So then I'm like, okay, I already have to wear a tank top and a jacket everywhere. Do I have to wear the other jacket on top of this? And now people are telling me about this long sock thing. I'm like, oh my God, I don't even like wearing shoes right now. I have to buy all these shoes.
That is actually the thing that I hate most about the winter is the shoes, because I am a total summer girly. I will wear sandals until my toes feel like they're going to fall off from the cold. But
I think we were separated at birth.
Yeah.
We're barefoot. This is amazing. It's my East Coast twin.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's, a couple months of, and I mean, I don't think it gets quite as cold for as long down there as it does up this way, but I could also be completely wrong about that.
Well, if I haven't given up all hope, we can check in here.
Yeah.
I'll have a whole new background. It will be nice. I'll have like an actual office instead of like, I just work in the middle of the living room because, when your kids are tiny.
I'm hanging out in my bedroom right now, so.
Oh, I can't wait. But when kids are tiny and you have to be up their butt because they'll kill themselves maybe. So it made sense. Hey, what are you doing? Did you get in the shower? Did you brush your teeth? Don't touch that. That's hot. Did you eat? Yeah, no. And now I'm done. I'm going to have my own office. I'll make all the books pretty. You can help me merchandise. That'll be fun. We could color block that.
Decorate.
Tuesdays with Tori, a business, merchandising, decoration, book talk, ramble. It's amazing. Okay. If you could swap, I feel like I have two more. I'm just going to do it. We're going over. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I try to make it a 45-minute thing. Now it's an hour thing. You can scroll away if you don't want to watch, guys. If you could swap jobs with anyone in the industry for a day in our little industry, right?
Okay.
Like the pleasure professionals. Cause I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of porn stars we'd like, but we're just going to not.
Yeah, I don't know that I want to even train.
Okay, but like for a day, hell yeah. For one day. And then I take no responsibility. Yeah, one day. Okay, so
after,
in a professional, in our pleasure professional space, okay. Who would you be for a day? Switch Joels. So you can still be you, but what job I guess do you want and why?
I mean, I would love to maybe switch with like another buying team from like from another chain or another store, just to get some like different perspectives. Like Josh can go over at Romantics or Danny or Signy. Like, there's so many really great people out there. Just to get like a different perspective on how people are kind of doing the same thing essentially.
No, right. I think that's really great. I feel like there was a time I was on this whole kick of asking anybody, is it just my industry that reacts this way about relationships, or is it other industries? To which apparently it is other industries as well, if that makes people feel better. But again, it depends on the like a lot of blue collar industries, like don't mess with my welder kind of deal, right? Yeah. But if it's a lot of different, Wall Streety stocks and bonds, investments, entrepreneur, blah, 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 it can look a little different.
Yeah. Well, and I think there's, like I said before, there's always something to learn from each other. So, just kind of trying to be as open as possible without obviously giving away your own secret ingredients, I guess. And
right. We can talk in percentages, guys. Like they're already out there anyways. I don't need to know what you're making. I don't need to know. Like just hey, we had 20%. 20% up, down, something. Like give general help. Come on. Like nobody can help anybody if and I get it. There's again, our industry sometimes gets a little personal and bad things have happened to some people. So I don't blame anybody. I'm trying to help. Okay. What's your current book or podcast or show obsession? What's living rent free in your head right now?
So I haven't started it yet, but actually somebody just told me to start the Housemaid series.
Ooh.
books. I'm usually
It's like mystery thriller, right? I think I have a few.
yeah. That's usually my type of book. So somebody
Okay.
just suggested that. So I need to download that to start reading that. So that's gonna be my next one.
That's the one. Oh, I see. And they packed it up. What's her name? Jenna something or other. The Perfect Marriage. I have that one pinned. That's
Okay.
supposed to be good. Good, like little flirty, but like thriller, right? Like
All right.
it's got some witty repartee, but then it gets scary.
Yeah.
So not dark romance, but more thriller.
Okay. Yeah, that's usually my vibe for books.
Oof. Running into shit. have the books that I
Don't
have
fall off.
holding my microphone over here because
Oh,
again,
geez.
everything's just all over the place. This is why my dog's depressed with me. And now my camera, thank you. See, camera doesn't want to work. Okay, I'm gonna do one more and then we'll do the wrap up because I'm selfish. And then I'll let you have a life. So something unexpected about yourself that most people don't know. Hidden talent, dream. Like I learned you like mystery thrillers.
Yes.
Maybe sexy ones.
Yeah, and I'm not usually into those kind of books for whatever, I don't know, but it just doesn't necessarily speak to me. Yeah, I mean, I already revealed that I'm going to be a grandma soon.
Yeah, that was
Which
pretty
I think
huge. I was like,
would come to a big surprise to most people.
Again, we're not in control. Life is full of surprises. So, and that's pretty huge. And I didn't know you were Brainwash Unlimited too. So
yeah, there we go.
This is something great. Okay. Thanks for hanging in there with us, guys. I think it's Helene still there because I miss her. We got to catch up soon. Thank you. Thank you so much, Cailyn. Anything you want to shamelessly plug or let anybody know how to get a hold of you or just say, call Tori, we'll figure it out.
Now is your time. Tori. I'm on Facebook. Not that I really go on there that much, but I am on there. You guys can always email me. I'll have Tori put up my email address if you want to get in touch with me. And beyond that, I will see you guys all at Altitude. We're going to have some really, really fun surprises. So I'm very excited for everybody to see.
Yay! Oh I know I didn't even shout out your cock ring yet. That was like the coolest thing I've seen as far as a swag, and I couldn't find it. Where it's literally like a cute silicone band that I got at one of the trade shows, and it has a rooster on it. And no joke, Chris, my boss, forgot a silicone band, and sometimes he still does. And that's hanging in his car or in wherever, and he puts it on, and his wife thinks it's hilarious.
It's the funniest thing, and I've heard so many stories about people taking that cock ring out into the wild, so to speak. So. Yeah, those actually just landed 2 weeks ago, not even 2 weeks ago. Hit my warehouse on the East Coast today, actually. So all of the rings and the fun cock rings are available as we speak.
Oh my goodness, so fun.
Yeah,
I'll take pictures, guys. Don't worry.
And yeah, we're gonna have some really, really cool new stuff for Altitude as well. So stay tuned.
Altitude's coming, guys. Yeah, that's my next shift. That's the next thing. I'm going to pretend like we didn't just talk when I email you in a week. Hi, Cailyn. Will you be attending the Altitude show? I'd like to say You're not talking to that, Tori. Yeah. I'll call you later. Okay, you rock, and I'm delirious. I probably need to go make food and check on my children and make sure my dog's alive.
Do all the things, yes.
The things. But again, thank you so much for coming, and everybody else who's listening, got questions, feel free. This ether thing that I talk into, this web series, this podcast, whatever it is, it's only here because you guys keep making me. So thank you, but also I'm grumpy and I'm going to keep servicing you guys. Oh, that sounded dirty. I'm going to keep trying to connect you guys. So, help me out. I've got things up on YouTube now. It's at Tuesdays with Tori Tia, because that's my Instagram, which is Tori Tia. And then I do things for Paradise Condoms. So if you guys need help finding me or the magical Emerald Queen, Emerald Queen or Emerald Grand Queen, maybe? I don't know. The Cailyn, again, I'm here just to help everybody connect because we are in the same industry, regardless of competitors or whatever's happening. It's been a rough couple of years, and if there's anything I can do, right, not secret sauce, to help people feel good about what they're doing and move in a direction, I'd love to be part of it and have you guys be part of it. That was okay. I did that.
Rock on. Yeah.
And I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thanks.